Hi, welcome back. Today I'm gonna do the reading wrap up for the month of May and also talk about what I intend to read during June. I DNF'd this book, which is called At Home in Mitford by Jan Karon, because it was a bit too slow paced for me and there wasn't enough happening. There's a lot of talk of the clergyman's dog in this, which didn't interest me much because I'm more interested in cats. The way the characters applied the proverbs to everyday life was quite interesting, so I may revisit this book in the future. I completed this book, which is called The Crystal World by J.G. Ballard. This is a very creative piece of work. It's based in the African jungle where this area of land is becoming crystallized, so it's almost like a fantasy work rather than a science fiction work, so I didn't like it that much, being a fan of sci-fi and not fantasy. The main character is called Sanders, and he is a doctor who is hoping to help his friend help some lepers. Along the way, he comes across a Belgian architect called Ventris, and also a diamond mine owner, and there's lots of conflict between Ventris and the diamond mine owner. It reads almost like a film script, and there's always a lot happening in this work. There are some damsels in distress in this work, and it's very fast-paced, so it was a good read, but not exactly up my alley. I've almost finished reading this book, which is called The Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith. From a travel writing point of view, it's very good because you get the atmosphere of Botswana. In fact, the author himself has spent a lot of time in his life in Botswana, so I think that part of the novel is very strong. However, the mystery aspect, I think, is quite weak. I was compelled to read on a lot of the time, wanting to know what would happen, but I felt like the solutions were drawn out in a dissatisfying way. I'll give a full review of this work soon. This month I'm gonna read this book, which is called The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. People who write or want to write fiction in the future will find this work particularly interesting because the author famously makes great use of literary devices in this novel, and he develops a very effective voice. In fact, on the front cover it reads, "An American classic, one of the most original voices. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. An author called Michael has got in contact with me and asked me to read and review his science fiction novel, which I'm happy to do. His work is called The Gift from Alias, and it's available through many retail outlets. So that's a quick catch up and a summary of what I intend to read during June. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.